are ready to begin, so come on over to your yoga mat if you're not there already. Let's start laying down today. So just getting kind of comfy, reclining in some way. Maybe finding Shavasana, corpse pose, with your arms and legs extended. Maybe finding constructive rest with your knees bent and your knees resting together at the center. Keep finding your way. Let your arms and hands find a comfortable position. If you need any extra props, blankets, cushions, whatever you need to get cozy here. And when you get to a pretty comfortable place, go ahead and let out a sigh, breathing in through your nose and sighing out through your mouth. Go ahead and do that a few times if you like. Just kind of shaking loose any bits from your day that are kind of lingering into whatever part of day it is for you, so that you can be a little more present for this class. So noticing your arms and shoulders. Notice which parts touch the floor, which parts maybe are kind of lifted up off the floor. Noticing the curve of your spine, the curves, plural, curves of your spine. Becoming aware of where the glutes are resting on the floor, which parts of your legs or feet are making contact. So noticing the whole backside of your body now. Letting go of any over efforting here. Letting the floor really hold you up. Giving all the muscles of your face and your jaw permission to rest. And then notice your breath. Notice how it flows. Does it feel easy today? Does it feel challenging? Are you able to breathe just through your nose? If so, finding proper oral posture by sealing your lips, softening your jaw, and creating just a tiny, tiny hint of space between the biting surfaces of your teeth, or they can be slightly touching. And then press or rest your tongue up on the roof of your mouth. Then with each breath in, notice and imagine that your nasal passageways are becoming clearer and wider so that it's easier and easier for you to breathe. Breathing in all the way down to the lowest parts of your lungs for some diaphragmatic belly breathing. Let that belly expand with your inhales. And soften with your exhales. Go ahead and take a few more rounds of this intentional belly breathing in through the nose, low and slow. And just checking in with your eyes and your eyebrows and your jaw. Sometimes when we pay attention to breathing, sometimes our face gets too serious. So just kind of smoothing the face back out if you notice any of that happening. Just a nice pace of breath in and out. And we'll do a little bit of imagined alternate nostril breathing. So we're not going to use our hands to actually block off our nostrils. We will just imagine. So before we begin that, just noticing the nostrils. Does it feel like you can breathe through both sides pretty equally? Does it feel like one nostril is more dominant right now? It is said that one nostril becomes more dominant at certain parts of the day. So just noticing. And then as if there were kind of a triangle, one point kind of a couple feet away from your nostrils, but as if you were sucking the air in from a couple feet away, and then the third point of that triangle up at third eye center. So the right nostril, the left nostril, and then third eye center, creating this nice little triangle shape. And just imagine now that you're breathing more through the right nostril with your inhale all the way up to that third eye center. With your exhale, imagine that you're breathing out of the left nostril. Now breathing in through your left nostril, all the way up to center. And eventually out through the right nostril. So we'll continue like that, breathing in through the right, out through the opposite side. So whatever side you're exhaling through, you're going to inhale through that side, and then exhale out the other side. We'll go ahead and cue it one more round so you have it down. So inhale through the right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. Go ahead and continue there, and don't worry about being perfect. Just more so imagined. Alternate nostril breathing. This is said to bring balance between the sides of the body, the hemispheres of the brain, kind of uniting the lunar and the solar sides of our body and nervous system. Go ahead and finish up the round you're on. Then take a nice deep breath in through both nostrils. Exhale with a sigh out of your mouth. Do that 2 more times, inhaling through your nose, both nostrils. Sighing it out. One more like that. Then go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Start to circle through your ankles and wrists a couple of times. Maybe let your head kind of turn from side to side. At some point, maybe starting to blink your eyes open if they were closed. And then reaching long for a long body stretch, straightening the legs, reaching up through the arms, reaching and stretching in opposite directions here. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and choose either side and roll over onto that side. Fetal position just for a moment, and then use the help of your hands and arms to press your way up to a comfortable seat. And you might sit up on some blocks if you'd like, or a chair even. Your call. Let's tent the fingertips off to the side and lengthen upwards through the crown of your head. Option to close your eyes here as you settle in. And just kind of drawing a line of awareness down from whichever parts of your body are touching the floor, all the way up to the base of the spine. Drawing that line up the spine to the crown of your head. Almost like your little lightning rod, ready to catch some energy. With an inhale, let's sweep the arms around and up, joining your palms overhead. Option to look up as they join. And then exhale to lower your hands down to heart center with a little tuck of your chin. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, circling around and down. Good. Let's just keep going with your breath here. So with your inhales, you're lifting up. With your exhales, hands are coming down to the heart. Our inhales always have us lifting back up. And those exhales coming back down. So just go ahead and take it at your own pace now. I won't cue this. Let's see if you remember. Go ahead and go one more round through. Taking your time, no rush. And eventually meeting up with hands back on the floor. Let's walk the hands out in front of us and just take a little forward fold over your crossed legs. Just kind of reaching forward. You can keep it active if you want by tenting your fingertips up, or you can make it a little more passive, just kind of rounding forward. And no need to go too far here. We're just taking a nice passive rounding forward. Giving the backside of your body just a couple of breaths, a couple of moments to kind of wrap around, opening up through the back of the body. And then walking your hands back up. We'll switch the cross of your legs. Whatever leg is in back will now come in front. And we'll take another little forward fold. So just walking those hands forward, see what it's like. Sometimes one side is much harder than the other, so just roll with it. It's okay. One or two more breaths. And then walk your way back up. We'll take a little counter pose here, so let your legs straighten out in front of you. Bring your hands behind you. Your fingertips could point away from you or to the side walls, or you could flip the fingertips to face your body. It really does not matter. Let's just puff the chest up here. We're going to focus more so on getting this opening through the chest, lifting up so you're looking up at the ceiling. Don't let your head fall back too far. So we're just really focusing on opening through the chest more so. Your shoulder blades are kind of hugging together behind you. Nice little chest stretch. Take two more breaths. One more breath. And then tuck your chin toward your chest and come back up. All right, let's move around to hands and knees next. So sweeping those legs around and back. Hands will be right below those shoulders, knees below the hips. With your inhale, start to lower your belly, lift your gaze and your tailbone. This is our cow pose today. With your exhale, rounding up through your spine, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, cat pose. Keep going now. You inhale to find cow pose, gaze lifting, belly lowering. With your exhales, cat, rounding up through the spine. Just keep flowing now. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. If you ever feel like staying a little longer or adding on some extra wiggles or circles or bends of the elbows, just go right ahead. This is your time to explore movement through your body. Seeing what feels like coming out today. And when you've had enough of cat and cow, let's find our way to extended child's pose, bringing your knees out wide toward the edges of your mat, big toes touching behind you. Go ahead and sink your seat toward your heels, just enough. You don't have to go too far if it doesn't feel good to you. You can always come down to your forearms or walk your hands out toward the top of your mat and then sink your head and heart down toward the floor. And settle on into your extended child's pose here. Try to find that diaphragmatic breath again, that belly breathing. So really expanding through the belly with your inhales. Just kind of surrendering a little bit more with your exhales. And while you're here, if you'd like to set a dedication or intention for your practice today, now is a great time to bring something or someone to mind. Take about 2 more breaths, really feeling how your breath can help you kind of stretch the back. One last breath here. And then when you're ready, start to rise back up to tabletop. Let's make sure if you have blocks that you have them close by here. We're going to do a couple things that I think work better with blocks. I'm going to start by bringing my hands up onto blocks. So if you have something there, go ahead and do that. We're going to straighten the right leg off to the right side. I'm going to turn and face you just so you can see what I'm doing here. So from tabletop, we're going to straighten that right leg out to the right side. If you can bring the sole of your foot down to the floor, cool. If not, just kind of do your best there with that. Then just start to pull the hips back, almost like you were headed in the direction of your child's pose, but we don't have to go all the way back. We're just going a little bit back. Hopefully you're starting to feel some stretching through that inner right leg, inner thigh a little bit. We're just going to kind of rock forward and back a couple of times. You can come forward and then sink back a little bit, just focusing on stretching and loosening up through that right inner thigh, inner leg. Feels so good. You can hold steady for a little bit if you want to, or just keep rocking. All right. And then we're going to bring those blocks over to the left side. I'm going to stack mine. You might stack yours or choose a different orientation, but right on the left side, we'll stack those blocks and then just reach both hands up and overhead. We're going to sway a little bit side to side here. So we're going to inhale as we rise, and then we're exhaling as we side bend toward the right. So that right hand slides down the leg, left arm lowers, left arm reaches. Inhale, come back up to center. We'll switch sides each time. And exhale, left hand lowers, right arm reaches. And just flow with your breath here. Inhaling up. Exhaling, side bend. Let's do one more here. Inhaling up. And exhaling, side bend to the left. Come on back up to center. And let your arms come down. We're going to bring the left hand to the top of your stack of blocks or your couch or whatever you have handy here. You can have some books handy. We're just going to reach up through that right hand up toward the top of your mat with your palm facing down. And just creating this nice kind of open angle through the right side of your body. You can kind of press your hips forward a little bit here and just feel this nice opening through that right side. Keep pressing into that left shoulder, so your left shoulder is staying active here too. There we go. Take another breath or two. And then we'll start rotating through that right wrist a couple times. Just both directions here at some point, circling that right wrist. And then we'll circle through that whole right shoulder. So just taking a big sweeping circle with that right arm. 3 times both directions. Nice sweeping circles. And go ahead and switch directions whenever the time comes for you. Just about 3 times both ways. All right. And then we'll bring those blocks back to the center, right in front of you where you started. Bring that right knee in, so we're back at our tabletop starting position. Good. Let's straighten that left leg now out to the left side. And we'll take that rocking motion. We're just kind of leaning back and forward a couple times so you start to feel some stretching and opening through that left inner leg. And you're just kind of freestyling here. You can reach back with the hips a little bit, maybe staying or just continuing to rock forward and back. Can feel quite intense if it's too intense here. Just taking some smaller movements. Maybe just holding steady, or even bend your left knee a little bit to create less sensation. Okay, just about one more breath. And we'll move those blocks over to the right side. I'm gonna stack my blocks again. I just find that's a really nice height for me today. And then we'll come to stand up on this. It's kind of like gate pose is what it's called. Let's inhale to reach both hands high. And we'll do our little side bends here. So with your exhale, we'll side bend to the left toward that long leg here. And then your inhales have you coming back up to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Just go ahead and flow with it now. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling to bend to the other side. One last time here. Inhale to rise. And exhale, side bending to the right. All right, come on back up to center. And then lower the hands down. Right hand now will come to that stack of blocks. Let's reach the left hand up and overhead with the palm facing the floor near the back side of your mat. Just creating this nice open side angle here through that left side. Press into your right shoulder so you're staying lifted and active through that shoulder. Kind of press your hips forward a little bit. Just feel into this kind of powerful expression. I feel like it's just like a power move. You're taking up space. It's feeling like really expansive and nice. I hope it is for you as well. Take about one more breath here. And then start to rotate through that left wrist a couple times, both directions at some point. And then we will take our big shoulder circles, arm circles. So nice sweeping circles with that left arm, 3 times one direction, and then 3 times the other direction. Kind of letting it be kind of fun. We don't have to be rigid here. Sweeping it around. Good. Whenever you are done with that, walk your blocks back out to the top and find your tabletop position. We'll take a little break off of our wrists here and come on back to extended child's pose. So the knees will go wide again, just lowering your seat toward your heels. You could keep your hands or your elbows up on your blocks if you want a little more stretch through your shoulders or upper back, or finding the floor. One more breath in, and one more breath out. When you're ready, rising back up to your tabletop, let's find downward dog. So still, if you have those blocks out, bring the hands on blocks, curling your toes under, and then reaching that tailbone high, reaching through your shoulders, pressing through each of your fingertips, especially between the thumb and the pointer finger. Find your breath, make sure you're breathing. And if you'd like, you can pedal out your legs, bending and straightening opposite knees a couple times. Just about one more breath. And then bending your knees, start to look up to your hands with your exhale. Step or walk your feet behind your hands for ragdoll forward fold. Maybe your hands want to rest on your blocks today, or grab opposite elbows. You could find a little bit of movement here, swaying, or just holding still. Still breathing. We know it's harder sometimes to breathe when we're upside down, so gotta check in with that. And maybe nodding your head yes and shaking your head no a couple of times, loosening up the neck. Then go ahead and bend a little deeper through your knees and then walk your hands up your legs as you come up to stand. Good. All right. Take a look at your feet, make sure they're a comfortable distance from each other. You're feeling stable here. Let's just get a little bit of a wiggle going through the body, maybe kind of wobbling the knees, shaking the arms. You could lift and lower the heels a couple of times and get kind of a bounce going. Just a little wiggle, shake, bounce throughout your body. Just keep it going a little bit. You can get a little wild if you want to. Maybe making a little bit of a sound. Just getting that circulation going, getting rid of any stagnant energy here, letting your body just kind of express itself however it feels like for the next couple of moments. Okay, when you've had enough of that wiggling and shaking, come on up to the top and a little bit of stillness here. Let's spin the palms to face the front of your space. With your inhale, start to rise up to your tippy toes. So we're lifting those heels. We are squeezing the bottom of the feet, the ankles, the legs, seeing if we can stay lifted here. Even your glutes really engaged here to help you stay lifted on those tippy toes. And then exhale, lower back down. It's actually surprisingly challenging sometimes to do that. So let's do it a couple more times. We're inhaling to rise up to those tippy toes. You can always hold on to the wall if you need more support. And exhale to lower. One more time. Option to lift the heels and the arms at the same time. Maybe your arms lift up overhead. And then exhale, lower your arms and your heels. Give it a little shake if you like, and we'll start to do a little flow. So it'll just be one breath per movement here. Let's get going. Inhale to reach around and up, looking up toward your palms as they join. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, knees, or thighs. Exhale, lower those hands down to the blocks or the floor. Step your right foot back first and then your left to your high plank. One big breath in here. Exhale, downward dog. We're reaching that tailbone high. Big breath in and out. With your next inhale, roll forward to your high plank. Shoulders over wrists. And exhale, lower your knees. Move those blocks to the side. And then lower your chest. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down into the floor so much that those knees start popping up a little bit. Inhale, rise up to baby cobra, head and chest lifting. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up, baby cobra. Shoulder blades hugging together behind you. And exhale, lower. One last time. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lower. With your inhale, rise up to your tabletop, hands and knees. And exhale to child's pose. We'll be here for 3 breaths at your own pace. And And using an inhale to rise back up to your tabletop, grabbing those blocks if you like to use them, and then exhaling to your downward dog. Another 3 breaths will be right here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look up toward your hands. With your exhale, step that right foot forward first and then your left to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. The arms reach wide and we're hinging up through the hips. And then join your hands overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center, home base. Maybe closing your eyes for a couple of moments. Maybe catching back up. Letting your body have just a couple moments to integrate all that movement. Remembering your intention if you set one. And let's take a clearing breath together. Inhale through your nose. Sigh through your mouth. Let's do that little sequence one more time here. Inhale, reach both hands high. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the block. Step that left foot back first and then your right to your high plank. One big breath in here. Exhale, downward dog. Lift those hips, reaching the tailbone. One breath in and out. Inhale, roll forward to your high plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower your knees, move those blocks to the side, and then lower your chest all the way down to the floor. Press the tops of your feet down, and with your inhale, rise up to your baby cobra. Exhale, lower. 2 more just like that. Follow your breath. Inhales have you lifting. Exhales have you lowering. Just about 1 more here. Inhale to lift. And exhale, lower. With your inhale, start to rise back up to your tabletop. And then exhale to child's pose. Your knees could be a little closer together if you like. We're going to have a couple of breaths, so settling on in. Just about 1 more breath in. And 1 more breath out. Inhale, rise on up, tabletop. Grab your blocks if you like them. And exhale to our last downward dog of our practice today, where we'll spend 3 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and kind of lift up on your kneecaps. That can help you lengthen through the back of the legs. And exhale. 1 more breath in. And breath out. Inhale, bend both of your knees and look up to your hands. Exhale, step that left foot forward first and then your right. Forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Those arms go out wide, hinging upwards. Lift the hands up to touch overhead. Exhale, hands come back to heart center. Back to home base. Taking a couple moments just to gather yourself. Coming back to your breath, coming back to your intention. If you've gotten distracted by anything in your surroundings, just comment on back. It's okay. let's take a clearing breath in through the nose. And sigh to release. Go ahead and blink your eyes open, lower your hands down, and we'll get ready for a little bit of balancing. Let's do our kind of play on tree pose today. You could just take a classic tree pose if you like, but let's bring all the weight over to that right leg first. You can start with our classic tree pose, just kickstanding that left heel up on your right ankle, opening that left knee out toward the side, finding some kind of unmoving focal point to look directly at. Hands can be wherever they like. If you're feeling steady here and you want more of a challenge, you could slide that left foot up to your right calf, or even a little higher. You are welcome to stay right here. This is great practice with our balance. If you want to take the little play on tree pose, you could start lifting that left knee a little higher and seeing if you can grab hold of that left knee with your left hand. This is also a great place to stay, maybe reaching that right arm up. You're welcome to kind of play around with it, maybe bringing that knee, letting go of the knee and bringing the foot back down to your calf, really strengthening that left hip. Go ahead and play a little bit here with your tree pose for a couple more breaths. Maybe your left knee comes back up if you want. Your call. It's okay to fall out of it and come back in anytime. All right, just about one more breath in. And exhale, let it all down. All right, shake out that right leg. Now you know what's coming. So let's go to the left leg now. So all the weight over to that left leg, starting with our little mini tree pose here with that right knee opening out toward the right side. Hands wherever you want them to be at all times. Find that unmoving focal point and just let that kind of anchor you in your balancing. You can always stay right here or start to slide that right foot up to the left calf. Another great place to stay if you want. Or you can start that kind of play, reaching that right knee up, seeing if you can grab hold with the right hand. I like to bring the left hand out toward the left side, but of course you can do what you like. Go ahead and play here, maybe letting that leg come back, the right foot come back to the left calf if you want. You could lift back up. Really strengthening balance play today. And wherever you're at, maybe taking about one more breath. And then eventually using an exhale to let everything come back down. Give it all a nice little shake. And then we'll come on down to the floor. So finding your way first to a seat. We'll do one more little balancing pose when we get to our seat. It's our cosmic egg pose. So we'll bend the knees, stand your feet up on the floor here. You can hold on to your knees or behind your thighs or whatever feels good. Puff your chest up here so we have a nice kind of straight spine. We don't want it to be rounded, so we're just puffing that chest up, shoulder blades kind of coming down and back. And start to lean back slightly. Start to pick up one foot and then the other, seeing if you can come to balance here in our cosmic egg. Little balancing pose here. If this feels challenging enough for you, stay right here. This is good work. If you want to challenge your stabilizing muscles even farther, you could purposely destabilize yourself or even let go of the hands. You can do a little of each, holding back on whenever you like. Find your breath. Let that heat build. And when you're ready, lowering down as slow or as fast as you like. all the way down to the floor. This could easily be some core work here. If you go slow, or you even start to rise back up and then come back down. But eventually, just letting the body find the floor. So just go ahead and let go of any need here to do anything. We're just softening right up, landing on the floor. Now you are welcome to get right into your final rest right here if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll take one little twist and we'll do like just a couple last little poses here to close up. So if you want, we'll bend those knees, standing the feet on the floor here. Let's scoot the pelvis over to the left edge of the mat and then allow your knees to start twisting over to the right. I like to have my arms out wide in a T-like position, but maybe a little lower or even a little higher. You can even do like cactus arms if you want. And your gaze could be straight up, or maybe you turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. So that would mean knees to the right, gaze to the left. And checking in, seeing if you need or want any props here. Sometimes it's nice to have a pillow between the knees and the shins. Sometimes it's nice to have a block under the knees. Checking in and noticing which parts of your body feel really activated, which parts feel soft. Try to create some kind of balance there between effort and ease. Taking one more round of breath. And when the time is right, go ahead and start switching sides, bringing your gaze and your knees up to center. Scooting the pelvis way over toward the right edge of the mat now, and then starting to twist and lower the knees toward the left. And just like we did on that first side, maybe you start to turn your gaze in the opposite direction of those knees. So if the knees are reaching to the left, the gaze is reaching toward the right. And just about one more breath. And come on back up. Gaze lifting, knees lifting. Center the pelvis back in the middle of your mat. And then if there are any last poses, movements, stretches that your body's wanting, go ahead and move a little bit more now. And then when you're ready, finding your way to your final resting pose. Could, of course, be very similar to how you started today, might be in Shavasana or constructive rest pose. Taking your time as you settle in, grabbing any extra props, blankets, pillows, maybe turning your light off, whatever you need to do to get cozy here. Of course, you can sigh or make any little noises that you want as you settle in. And we'll come right back to that imagined alternate nostril breathing. But I invite you to consider making it the most passive that you can. So you're not going to focus too hard. It's almost like you're just watching your breath and your body do this without you even really having to try too hard. So let's see about that. For about 3 breaths here, let's just breathe through both nostrils in, both nostrils out, both nostrils inhale, both nostrils exhale. Now, if that feels more relaxing to you today, you can go ahead and just stay there. Otherwise, let's start to imagine our alternate nostril breathing. I'll guide you through a couple of rounds and then leave you to it. Just remembering that we always inhale through one side and then exhale through the other. So let's inhale through the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. All the way up, imagining coming right up to that third eye center point. Exhale right. Inhale right up to third eye. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Go ahead and continue now. No need to be perfect. Relaxing the rest of your body here and just watching as you keep balancing your breath nostril to nostril. Softening your jaw and your facial features as you go. And you're welcome to continue with this breath or release any kind of special breathing patterns and just kind of relaxing for these last few minutes. And try to just witness your thoughts as they arise, which they just inevitably do. You're just watching your thoughts. What is your brain thinking? And you're welcome to stay here and continue meditating or resting or finding Shavasana. Whenever you're ready to begin reawakening your physical body, do it gently. Maybe some wiggling of fingers and toes. Maybe a little circling of ankles and wrists. You might open and close your jaw, swallow, or yawn. Maybe reaching into a long body stretch or any other intuitive stretching or movements. And then choosing a side, rolling on to either side, finding the fetal position with your knees slightly tucking in, and that bottom arm maybe it can be your pillow now. Take at least one full round of breath here. And eventually using the help of your hands and arms to press your way up to a comfortable seat. If you like, keeping your eyes closed as you join your hands in front of your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Together, let's bring thumbs up to third eye center, and in a little gesture of gratitude, let's take a little bow forward together now. Peace.